look what I get! I got a mahogany scented candle. It smells like heaven. Okay, so today's video is a book recommendation. You guys asked for it, so I am giving it to you. And I'm gonna recommend 3 books because it's gonna turn too long because I recorded the video a couple days ago, and then my phone was being mean and the app was taking up 4 gigabytes of storage, and oh my gosh, it was like, oh my gosh, it was just too much. It was so annoying. But now I'm redoing it for you guys, for you. Yeah. Without further ado, here are my book recommendations. Okay, so my first book to recommend is So Much Closer by Suzanne Colasanti. I actually really love this book. It's probably in the category of it's in the category of one of my favorite girly books because it's like a romancy book, and basically it's about this girl named Brooke, and her parents are divorced, so they live in different places, but they're not too far away. Her dad lives in New York City and her mom lives in New Jersey, and she has what's called like the knowing. It's not like a disease or something, but to where she knows when something big is going to happen or when something is going to change her life or something like that. So there's this guy named Scott, and she knows that they are going to end up together. He's the one, she's going to marry him. Well, when she hears that he's moving to New York City, she's crushed, but then she thinks that she can move in with her dad. So she tells her mom that she wants to move in with her dad for better school opportunities, to figure out her life, and she moves to New York, and Scott doesn't even know who she is, so she meets new people, she figures out her life, she finds out what she wants to do as like a job, she meets new friends, she loses her old friends somewhat, I don't know, she meets guys, including Scott. They get to know each other. It's a very good book. I recommend it. I would rate this book like 6.5 or 7 out of 10. And don't say that that's not a good book because she rated it that instead of like a 10 out of 10, because when I rate some things like 10 out of 10, it means it's a really good book. And I don't particularly rate things very high, because when that one book comes along and you already rated other books that are like, oh, not as good as that one, the 10 out of 10, that one just looks like the rest of the books. So that's why I don't really rate things 10 out of 10. So when I do rate it a 10 out of 10, you guys should read it right away. Just, yeah. And yeah. Next book. Okay, so the next book I have for you guys is Choke by Diana Lopez. So this book is about this girl named Wendy, and she is in the GP crowd in her school, along with her best friend, and the GP crowd stands for General Public, and then there's the in crowd and the out crowd, and they pretty much speak for themselves. So they're just like in the middle, and they get picked on a little bit by the in crowd, but it's not like to the point where you're like, oh, I can't deal with this. So this new girl comes, and she starts becoming friends with Wendy, and her name is Nina, and she's pretty, and she's new. So she's basically in the in crowd right away. So that Nina's kind of Wendy's ticket to the in crowd, and she doesn't really like being teased. I don't think that anybody likes being teased, but so she's kind of like getting to know Nina. They're hanging out a little bit. What really stinks is she's kind of like leaving her best friend behind a little bit sometimes, and then Nina wants her to play the choking game, and the choking game is this game where, and it's not really a game, I don't know why they call it a game, but they just do, it's not a game, where like you basically are choking yourself until you pass out, or your breath sister chokes you, and then you pass out, and then when you come back out of being passed out, when you are lucid, you feel high. So it's like a way of getting high. Please, I beg of you guys, don't do it. Just don't. Yeah, just don't. It's a bad idea. Don't. If you do, it could cause serious damage, like death or brain damage from lack of oxygen. So don't you do it. Well, anyway, unfortunately, Nina does the choking game, and she's trying to get Wendy to do the choking game, which isn't very good. Throughout the book, it's basically, I really like it because it's basically like telling you, it's a way of telling you and alerting you that it's not, the choking game is not a game, and it's quite dangerous, and I like how the author does it. I would rate this book 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, it's a pretty short book. It's like, it's pretty short, but it's good. Next book. Alright guys, so the next book I have for you is actually, I do not own it, unfortunately, because my friend owns it, so I read her copy, and my mom just likes me not buying books because she thinks if you could just get it from the library, it's just a waste of money. But no, what if you want to reread the book? No, and you want to just grab it off your shelf right away. Just, no, Mom. No. Anyway, the book I've got for you is called The Catastrophic History of You and Me by Jess Rothenberg, I think. I will show you a picture over here. So yeah, that is the picture. Basically it's about this girl, and she, throughout the whole book, she's dead, except for, you know, like the beginning, which like tells you how she died. And she died because she literally died of a broken heart. Like her boyfriend broke up with her, and then she died after that. And while she's like in her world, her afterlife world, she meets this guy Patrick, and he's like teaching her a bunch of stuff about the afterlife, about what she can do. He's teaching her like how you can go back to Earth. You can, if you pull your emotions together and you work and concentrate hard enough, you can make physical contact with objects. He teaches her a lot of stuff. She ends up kind of liking him. He's pretty good looking, and she says that out loud sometimes. She's like, oh crap, did I say that out loud? It's a really sweet book. My friend and I, she came over and we were both reading different books. I think I was reading Shadow Me by Tahira Mafi, or whatever, how you pronounce her name. And every time, we were sitting at the counter home alone, and every time something would come up in our books, we'd be like, oh, this part, and we would explain like what was happening. So her book was actually pretty interesting. She was pretty, she was like at the beginning-ish, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a cool book. So I ended up reading aloud to the both of us, so both of us could read. We stayed up until like 4 in the morning finishing the book. It was an amazing book. I want to own it. That's how amazing it is. I don't, like, even if I've already read it, I want to own it because it's just so good. There are plot twists. You think it's going this way when it goes that way. It's cute, it's shocking, it's beautiful. It's just like a really good book, and I recommend it so much, so much. I would rate this book an 8.5 out of 10 because it's just amazing, and you should go read it like right now. Well guys, it's time. It's time for the ending of this video. I know it's heartbreaking eye. I'm just kidding. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Please subscribe. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment below what you want my next video to be about. I will try to, if you guys don't comment, it's okay. I will figure it out myself, or I'll ask you on Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, please follow me at _the_bookworm. It's my account for Divergent, The Hunger Games, and The Immortal Instruments and Infernal Devices. I love you all. Thank you so much for sticking through this video and making it to the end. If you skipped it, I understand, because I know I can get annoying sometimes. My voice gets like low and kind of scratching sometimes, and it's like, what is happening? I hope you liked the books I recommended to you. I know it's not a lot, but if this video would have turned into a lot longer of a video if I recommended more books. So throughout my YouTube life, I will recommend a book or several books. I'll do a book recommendation video later from the books I read and stuff. I think maybe next week, do you want me to do a book talk on The Fault in Our Stars, or do you want me to do something else? Please comment below. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe maybe, because yeah, you guys are cool, and if you can be even more cool if you subscribe. Click that button. Bye guys!